I would go up to the house or go to the studio, wherever he was at, and I would just show him, like, you know, what I learned, or what I was doing at the time. And he was basically, I had no idea how he was going to put it together. But years later, I realized that he was looking at me for his solo, his solo routine.
Right.
So when you see his Billie Jean solo, especially too on his live tour, I mean when he's doing his live stage show, you can see a lot of my influence in his solo work.
Well,
I was like his personal instructor, and also like a consultant. I mean, he would ask me, "How does this look?" And I'd be like, "That's great." And
when was the last time you worked with him? Do you know? When was the last time?
Yeah, it was actually 1991. I got a call out of nowhere that he wanted to work on a project with me, and I had just did a video with Paula Abdul called Opposites Attract,
right,
where I played this animated cat, which that's on YouTube too. The Opposites Attract video with Paula Abdul. It was an animated character I played, and he heard about it, and most of my work was next to a blue screen, which helped the animators go and put the animated cell over my actual my in real-time dance steps, to make the animated character look like it was real. So Michael Jackson heard about that, and I told him, I said, you know what, when he called the house, I said, a lot of people, they're questioning whether or not it's true that we work together, and I keep telling them that we're friends and we work together, but, I've not shown them anything. So he says he had a job for me. I says, well, what is it? He goes, you have to be tight-lipped about it. He goes, you can't go on Arsenio Hall or go on any talk shows with any publicity. He goes, because I don't want to make anybody mad. He goes, this is a project for Bart Simpson. I had no idea that he was going to do this new animation project, and he wrote the song for Do the Bartman for Bart Simpson. Simpson Sing the Blues, and so they asked him, can you come up with a dance? He's Michael Jackson, right? Can you come up with a dance for Bart Simpson? Because we're going to debut this on The Simpsons. And so he thought it would be the greatest thing for me to work on, because I had just worked with Paula Abdul on an animated project. So I spent 3 days at the ranch. I went up to Neverland Ranch, and he specifically said he wanted me to come to the house because he didn't want to do it in L.A. because he was like, at that time, anywhere he went, there was paparazzi and people, trying to get at him. So it was more of a private and toned down workout session, for us to actually create this dance. And I went up to Neverland, and it was exciting, man. I was like, I was really thrilled to be there, because this is like the first time I had seen his house when he lived with his mom in Havenhurst. But I heard about his mansion and his, in Neverland, but when I got there, it was just overwhelming. So when I got there, they set me up in my guest quarters, and he told me, he goes, before dinner, he goes, let's do some dancing. I said, let's go for it, dude. So he had his own little rehearsal studio, and we go in the studio, and it's just him and I. He puts on some music, and he goes, keep in mind when we're coming up with this dance for Do the Bartman, he goes, the kid is, he's white, Bart Simpson's kind of like a nerd. He goes, let's come up with something that would be easy for just the average person to do. And so I was like, all right. So he's dancing. As a matter of fact, I wish I had that on tape. I wish I had somebody in his camp has the rehearsal footage.
Wow. Because
he videotaped everything. He videotaped it even when I used to be his personal choreographer. But the way the rehearsal went, he did some solo stuff. I did some solo stuff. And I was thinking, it was weird, I was thinking of, there's a scene in the movie Grease where John Travolta's and Olivia Newton-John, they're dancing in the gymnasium auditorium, and there's a quick cut to the extras that are sitting on the bleachers, and they're doing this hand jive thing, hand jive. So my do the Bart Simpson dance was basically loosely based on, you know, the dance step hand jive. You know, it's kind of, if you ever see the Bart Simpson, it was once I came out with certain movements, Michael goes, okay, that's it. He goes, keep it right there. I went through like a whole menu of moves, and he said, yeah, let's keep it simple. So it was a really corny, kind of cutesy thing where we just kind of did the hands to the left, hands to the right, step to the left, and step to the right. And it was the best thing I liked. After he approved the movements, he said that he was going to give me, make sure that I was documented as having done the choreography. So I thought that was a really good thing. I mean, I still have the letterhead, which came from MJJ Productions, which he told everybody at Gray Films, who's the production company for Bart Simpson. He said, Michael Chambers, I want Michael Chambers to make sure that he gets the choreography credit for this project. Mr. Jackson.
That's awesome.
He made sure that he got me that.
We would love to be able to see the film of that. Maybe in coming years, this sort of thing will be released more and more.
You know what? I was talking to a couple people about that. Somebody in his camp somewhere has the footage of us rehearsing, and I really hope it comes out.
Well, you mentioned the last time that you worked together was 1991. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that you never worked with him again? I mean, that's quite a long time ago. And of course, he continued to perform. Any particular reason why he wouldn't want to use you again as a coach, a consultant, as you mentioned?
Well, what was really interesting is we kind of lost touch. I mean, there was after the movie Breaking and Breaking 2, I mean, I lost a lot of. It's like I couldn't trust anybody, and nobody wanted to. Everybody in the street dance world that was a dancer, they pretty much felt that I got my share of fame, and so people weren't throwing work my way or weren't giving my phone numbers to other artists. And matter of fact, me and Bruno, we kind of distanced ourselves after the movie Breaking, because I mean, a lot of people were telling me, hey man, you know, you didn't really get your fair share in these movies, so you don't need to hang out with Shrimp. And he was my link. He was my link to Michael, but he just never. We just kind of lost touch, and it wasn't a conscious thing on Michael Jackson. Just a lot of people kind of kept us away from each other. And I remember that 1991 was the last time that I had his phone number and his people's number, and after 91, the child molestation case started happening. All that stuff went down, and all those numbers were disconnected, and he fired people, secretaries, and so it was like, it was a little bit hard for us to get together. But you know, I think that you know, like years later or whatever, the good thing was he was always like reinventing himself and like doing new projects. But my special thing that was, you know, like an endearment to me from a distance, from you know, a friend or a former student, was every time I seen him solo, I knew he knew that he was using. I mean, he was letting me know I got Shrimp style, because every time he would do his dance solo, not his choreography, I knew that he had mastered some of the stuff that he learned from me, you know, and mixed it in with his style, you know.
Okay.
I think one of the beautiful things was, I mean, usually when you coach a student or anybody, you want to see your work through them. And it was interesting when I saw the video Scream with Janet Jackson. That was the first time I did a move in Lionel Richie's All Night Long video, and matter of fact, in Breaking and Entering, where I tick to the side, almost like an octopus snake, where I'm doing a wave, but I'm actually I'm crouched down, but I'm ticking to the side and doing my arms in like a waving motion. When we used to practice, I used to do that with Michael, and